It was an unseasonably warm morning in Vatican City, the ancient heart of Christianity, a place where time itself seemed to stand still. But on this particular day, history was about to unfold. The world's most famous tech mogul, Elon Musk, had made an unexpected and highly anticipated decision. He was going to meet Pope Francis. Why, you may ask, would the Pope want to meet with a man who had spent so much of his life focused on science, technology, and the future of space travel? Why would Elon Musk, the embodiment of innovation and rationality, want to meet with the leader of a faith that has, for centuries, stood on tradition, belief, and the intangible? The answer, it seemed, was far more profound than either of them had anticipated. Elon stepped out of the sleek black car in front of St. Peter's Basilica. The crowd murmured softly, sensing that something extraordinary was about to happen. The sky was cloudless, a perfect shade of blue, almost too perfect. The ancient stones of Vatican City stood in the stark contrast to the modern world. Elon had built a world driven by electric power, artificial intelligence, and dreams of life on Mars. As he walked toward the Vatican, he couldn't help but feel a sense of awe. The air was thick with history, with the echoes of countless voices that had walked these very streets over the centuries. But today, it wasn't the voices of the past that filled his mind. It was his own thoughts, his own questions, echoing louder than ever before. Why am I here? Elon thought to himself as he passed through the ornate gates. What am I seeking from this man who claims to speak for God? For someone like Elon, a man who had long put his faith in the power of science and technology, this moment was strange. His entire life had been about solving problems, breaking through barriers, and exploring the unknown. Yet here he was, standing in front of one of the most sacred places in the world, preparing to meet someone who represented something he had long struggled to understand. The moment finally arrived. Inside the walls of the Apostolic Palace, Elon stood face to face with Pope Francis. The Pope, an older man with a calm and gentle demeanor, extended his hand to Elon. There was no grandeur, no elaborate greeting, just a simple handshake, as though this meeting, in the grand scheme of things, was just another step in a much larger journey. "Welcome, Mr. Musk," Pope Francis said with a warm smile. "It's an honor to meet you." Elon, momentarily taken aback by the simplicity of the greeting, nodded and replied, "Thank you, Your Holiness. It's an honor for me as well." They sat down together in a small, humble room, its walls adorned with centuries-old artwork. There were no fancy gadgets here, no sleek technological displays, just the quiet ambiance of a room that had witnessed countless important discussions over the years. Pope Francis spoke first. "I know you have a vision, Mr. Musk, a vision that stretches to the stars. But I wonder, what do you hope to find there?" Elon paused. The question was unexpected. "I want to give humanity a future. I want to make sure that we are not confined to one planet, one place. We need to explore, we need to expand, to push the boundaries of what's possible." Pope Francis smiled softly. "And do you believe that by doing this, we will find meaning? Meaning beyond the technology, beyond the rockets and spaceships?" Elon was silent for a moment. He hadn't anticipated this line of questioning. I, I don't know. I think so. I believe that by going to Mars, by becoming a multi-planetary species, we will ensure the survival of humanity. But I suppose I've never really thought about the deeper meaning of it all." The Pope's expression remained serene. Science seeks to understand the world. Faith seeks to understand the soul. They are not enemies, but companions on the journey. Elon had never thought of it that way before. He had always seen faith and science as two separate forces, sometimes clashing, sometimes coexisting, but never truly intertwined. Yet here was one of the most influential spiritual leaders in the world, telling him that they could walk the same path. The Pope leaned forward slightly, his eyes filled with a quiet intensity. "You are a man of great intellect, Mr. Musk. You have shaped the future in ways that few can comprehend. But there is a question that has eluded even the greatest minds. What is the purpose of it all? Is it simply survival, or is there something more?" The conversation shifted. What began as a discussion about technology soon evolved into a deeper exploration of life itself. The Pope spoke of faith, of the eternal soul, of the mysteries that science could never truly answer. Elon, who had long relied on logic and reason to guide his life, found himself grappling with ideas he had never fully considered. "I've spent my whole life trying to answer the questions science hasn't answered yet," Elon said, his voice quieter now, more introspective. "I've focused on the stars, on rockets, on artificial intelligence, but I never asked myself why we're doing all of this." Pope Francis nodded. "We all seek meaning, Mr. Musk, and sometimes it is the questions that we don't have answers to that are the most important." For a moment, he just sat there, absorbing everything. He wasn't sure if he believed in what the Pope was saying, but for the first time, he wasn't dismissing it outright either. And that in itself was something new. The conversation went on for hours, the two men exchanging ideas, questioning each other, challenging one another's beliefs. The Pope spoke of love, of compassion, of a higher power guiding humanity, while Elon spoke of the limitless potential of the human mind, the ability to transcend the boundaries of Earth. But there was a moment toward the end of their discussion when something shifted. Elon, for the first time in his life, began to question the very foundation of his beliefs. He had always prided himself on being a man of reason, of scientific truth. But now, as he sat in the presence of Pope Francis, he couldn't help but wonder, was there something beyond the stars? Was there a purpose to life that even technology couldn't explain? As the meeting came to a close, Elon stood up slowly, feeling as if a weight had been lifted from his shoulders. The questions that had been rattling around in his mind were still there, but now they felt different. They felt more human, less about the technological boundaries he had once focused on, and more about the deeper questions of existence. "I'm grateful for this conversation, Your Holiness," Elon said, his voice sincere. "I came here looking for answers about space, about the future of humanity, but I think I've found something far more profound." Pope Francis smiled warmly. "The answers we seek are not always found in technology, Mr. Musk. Sometimes they are found within us." As Elon left the Vatican, he felt changed. The questions he had once dismissed were now a part of him, woven into the very fabric of his being. He didn't have all the answers, but he knew one thing for sure. The journey ahead, whether to Mars or to the deepest corners of the soul, would be one of discovery. As Elon Musk walked away from the Vatican, he was left with more than just the weight of his conversation with Pope Francis. He carried a question that echoed within him. What is the true purpose of our journey? Is it simply to survive, to explore the stars? Or is there something deeper we're searching for, something that technology and space exploration cannot provide? Perhaps the real journey isn't just about reaching the cosmos, but about understanding ourselves, seeking meaning beyond the material world. The stars may be distant, but could the answers we seek be waiting within us, already part of our very essence? As we continue to reach for the stars, I invite you to ask, what are we really searching for? The mysteries of space, or perhaps the deeper mysteries of the soul? The exploration of the unknown might be the beginning of a greater spiritual journey, one that doesn't just take us outward, but inward. What if the truth we seek is not far from us, but inside, waiting to be uncovered? Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. It helps us reach more people and share more inspiring content. Your comments are incredibly valuable, and who knows, your words might just inspire someone else today. Let's keep spreading kindness together.